Everyone enjoys getting out on the town for some live music. And there's nothing like going backstage and down the hall for a VIP pass to the inside information and interviews with the bands, singers, and songwriters that you enjoy. Welcome to Hall Around Town Radio's Backstage Hall Pass, a showcase of homegrown talent, mixing independent music with personal interviews and a behind-the-scenes look at our music community. Backstage Hall Pass is your front row center seat to some great conversation with the area's most talented artists. Whether you like rock, blues, folk, country, or R&B, Backstage Hall Pass delivers you a daily dose of the stories behind the music. And now, here's the host of our show, Scott Hall.
All right. Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to the program. I am Scott Hall, your host on Hall Around Town Radio's Wednesday with the band. And we're going to get right into this because I've got some fellas I want to talk to and introduce you to today. If you've never heard them, you're going to be excited about this, as I am, having them on the program. And let me see if I can bring into the show here as soon as I find my cursor on the screen. There we go. We'll bring in the boys from H&R Rock today. How you doing, fellas?
Hey, what's up?
Yeah.
How's it
What's
going
on?
Hey.
Well, it's awesome to finally have you on here. I have been trying to make this happen for a while. I'm glad we made it happen, and we've got a lot to talk about. So let's just dive into this. First of all, let me introduce you to everybody out there, folks that are watching. We've got Nick Rotundo. Nick, wave your hand, if you will, so they know who you are, for those that don't know you. And Dwayne Chandler in the house, Jamie Cook, and the man behind the kit, Rob Hurd. How you doing, Rob?
Good. How are you?
Good to see you here today, guys. I got some comments rolling in already. We've got to say hi to some folks on the programs, but let me do that real quick. Sure. TJ,
absolutely.
What's going on, TJ? Thanks for joining us. All right, Butch. You guys know Butch at all? He does the Standard Country Time Band down at Pullman on Wednesdays from 1 to 3. They're an awesome country act that plays down there.
Cool.
Glenn is with us. He's on the YouTube channel checking in. Sons of Liberty, shameless plug there from TJ. He's going to throw one in. And hey, Cricket, how are you? Thanks for being here. Good to have you with us. And Rachel joining us as well so far. If you're out there, guys, drop a comment in here. Say hi to the boys from H&R Rock. We're going to get it started today, guys. Let's chat a little bit about the band. Let's talk about how this thing got put together. And we'll get into some other questions. But somebody take it, whoever wants to, and tell me how you put this thing together.
Go ahead, Nick.
Go ahead, man. Well, I hadn't been playing for a while. Rob and I had to go way back in a couple of other bands. Long story short, he reaches out to me, says, you want to get back into playing? I said, yeah. I say it's time to go back and do that. So long story double short is that we decided to get together and we go ahead and we're thinking about the name of the band. I was in the Fury band back in the 80s. We did a couple of albums. We did one in 83, one in 85. And we almost kind of thought about maybe redoing Fury, but that's like, because one of the original members, he couldn't play anymore. So we kind of passed it up. And then we started kicking around, okay, what are we going to call it? And so then we started kicking some things around. Rob, you want to tell us how we came up with that name?
Yeah, it kind of started out as really kind of a spoof. We were joking around and then it kind of just stuck. But the H and the R, instead of H&R Block, it was H&R Rock, kind of goofing around. And like I said, and it stuck. The H is for Hurd and the R was for Rotundo. So we kind of pulled that together. We were kicking around maybe using our last names and doing different things. And it just kind of just a fun thing that stuck. And then now we're stuck with it.
Yeah, exactly. So one of those kind of things where H&R Rock, it's like we rock and you listen.
Yeah.
And we
That's great.
All
right. And we don't do taxes.
Yeah. And everybody's like, gee, well, can you also do our taxes? Well, we can do a lot of things, but we can't do your taxes. Right? So, anyhow, so that's kind of like where that came from. So.
Don't do taxes, but you pay taxes, right? There you go.
There you go.
Yeah. I gotta say hi to Tim Barnhorse from That Arena Rock Show. You guys all know Tina out there. She's one of your biggest fans. And Dewey Cole, he's a great fan of local music as well. And Dave, thank you for joining us too. And Cricket's in Amish country, just in case you wanted to know. She's throwing in a shameless plug.
We wondered where she was at. I mean, I have to be honest. Like, where's Cricket at?
She's riding in a buggy right now in Amish country, I think. So, yeah. All right, so we know about the band name now. That clears up a lot of things for me.
Right.
But first of all, tell the viewers out there what you guys play, because I'm going to tell them right now that I've seen your show. I saw it in its entirety down at Pullman Lanes, Scott's Bar and Grill down in Hamilton, Old Hollywood's place. You guys,
cool venue.
I mean, you blew me away. You guys blew me away. Dwayne, your vocals are spot on. The rest of you guys, your musicianship is fantastic. I don't want you to have to roll him out the garage door or anything.
Oh God, Scott! I mean, come on.
We're gonna pump Dwayne's tires a little bit today, because I'm telling you, this guy's got a voice. He has a voice that's killer, man.
Indeed.
So how do you pick the songs? How did you pick the genre, the songs, all that stuff? I mean, obviously the name says rock, but I love the set list, man.
Yeah, thank you. It's a fun set list.
I mean, I grew up with all that stuff. I mean, every era of music possible. I mean, my dad loved country. My brother liked Southern rock. My sisters, they liked the Motown. And then I have a nephew that liked all the harder stuff, the Metallica and stuff. And I just, it just all came in a big conglomerate deal, man. So, I mean, and I always dreamed of being the lead singer of the Eagles, which I didn't know. I didn't realize that Don Henley was the actual lead singer, mostly. And I can't play drums. So that kind of put that out.
Dang on it, man.
I can play air drums, but that's about it.
But you can rock the stage and rock the tennis shoes. I've seen that before. Right?
Thank you very much. Hey, I got them all right now.
You got them all. Look at that guy.
Those
All right.
almost look like Converse or something, right?
They like my Chuckies.
Yeah, Chuck Taylor, baby.
I got a few pair.
Yeah.
Green.
Well, speaking of
pink ones too.
oh my gosh. Speaking of clothing, you've got the tennis shoes, but Nick, I'm kind of missing the mesh shirt today, my friend. I gotta say, right?
Just so happens that you brought that up.
You knew I would.
Yeah. So I have people that will pay me to not get you one of these. So people in the chat room, it's like, how much will you pay me not to get Scott one and have him?
I'm telling you, I'm wearing it like a half shirt one night. You're gonna see it all, man. It's gonna be something.
It's all good, man.
But you guys got the look, and I made a comment about you. The first time I saw you play, I did a show after that, and we talked about your show that we saw. And I made a comment about, and I thought about it later. I was kind of talking about you guys being a little older. And I didn't say like a bunch of old men with walkers on the stage, but I did say something about, you came out and then all of a sudden this explosive rock show happens. Because when I go see a lot of bands, you see some of the older guys, they go through the motions, they get on stage, they play, they're perfectionists at musicianship, but the show's not there. You guys hit the show, man, and it's active. You're moving around. You got some energy, fellas.
No,
thank you.
Well, I was going to say that means that I can put my walker away. So it's don't schedule the activity room at the retirement home just yet.
It's a good match.
Yeah.
Folks, if you're watching out there and you have a question for H&R Rock today, throw it in the comments. We'll get it up there and let them see. Also, if you're out there, please make a comment. Let us know where you are and who you are, because these guys want some new fans. They've got a lot of fans, but let's move on in my little question list here. I want to hit you individually if I can for just a minute. I want to start over. I want to move over to the other side of the stage over there with Rod for a minute. Rob, you with me?
Yeah, I'm here.
All right. So when and why did you start playing music?
Oh gosh, I got my first, rookie drum set, if you will, when I was probably about 5 or 6 years old. Started beating on them really young, and I grew up around music and just always loved music. My aunt was a big influence. She took me to see Elvis when I was 4. Believe it or not, I got to see his last show, one of his last shows. And I was in the building. I was like 4 years old, and he died on my 5th birthday. So, and she followed him all over the country. So, that was a huge influence. And just being around music with the family, I had uncles that played guitar, and I pecked around with that some too. Just absolutely always loved it.
You were one of those kids that somebody bought a drum set for to annoy somebody, I bet.
Yeah. I got my first nice set probably when I was 13, 14. But, it got loud at the Herd household.
Weren't those called headache makers or something?
Oh yeah.
Yes.
Well, I would always time it where I could play.
Mom and Dad aggravated home.
Rob,
Turn it up there.
Yeah.
All right. Well, Jamie, how about you? You're a man of few words in this thing today. So lay it on me.
What's the question?
The question is, when did you start playing music, and why did you start?
I started when I was probably about 13. I started playing guitar, and then I just loved it. And then I moved to drums for a little while, but I settled in on bass in 1990 was when I started playing bass.
There you go. All right. Dwayne, when did you use those vocals?
Well, my story's a little different.
imagine that. You're a little different.
Yeah, I was going to say that, but I'm glad he did.
Hey, I'm in the band.
I've always sang, in the car, in the shower, wherever, because I take my equipment with me. But when I was 21, my dad passed away, and my nephew, he moved back from California, and he was in the music. He plays keyboards. He's one of those people that can play any instrument, and he's self-taught. So, I started hanging out with him, and he's 9 years younger than me. But anyway, I started hanging out with him and, listening to different types of stuff. And a friend of mine, a friend of ours, had a band, and the singer, he wasn't showing up. So we were going to the practice, and I said, well, hey, I could try to sing that. I've never done it before, but I'll kind of try to help you get through practice or whatever. And that's how it became me start singing. So the guy actually got word. So he started coming to practice. So they invited me down to one of their gigs and got me on stage.
Nice.
And it was New Year's Eve, 1982.
Wow.
And
all right.
My first song I sang live was Sweet Child of Mine. I was scared to death. So
pretty good song for your first one, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's heavy hitting there, stepping right into the pile of what, I guess. But
yeah. Followed by two ZZ Top songs, Cheap Sunglasses and Tube Snake Boogie. So that was a little easier on me.
And you still do some of those, don't you?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
I love the hard stuff, the Judas Priest, the Scorpions, I mean, actually, I feel I could sing the harder stuff easier than I can the easy stuff, if there is any easy stuff.
All right, I got to say hi to Hollywood checking in there. Got to say hi to him from Pullman Lanes. Thank you for being here. Catherine, thank you so much. Jimmy Kilroy in the house saying hey to you guys.
Hey, Jimmy.
And
Hey.
Kevin Cooper is here, one of the hosts of the Thursday night jam at the Bell and the Bear.
Nice.
Oh, Rod Moore. We all know Rod.
Hey,
Hot Rod.
Everybody knows Rock and Rod. Yes.
What's up, Rod?
And
nice garage,
Cindy.
man.
Cindy's checking in from
Cindy,
Washington,
what
D.C.
What's up?
Thank
girl?
you, Cindy. Josh Thomas. He loves H&R Rock.
All right.
And Lucas is with us. I think you might know Lucas. Right?
That's my youngest.
He's got the right last name.
Yeah.
That's a great profile picture he's got there too. Look at him. He's looking good. All right, Nick. Tell me, how'd you get started?
Yeah.
I mean, you've been around a long time.
I have. Short and sweet for me, just kind of like the Ted Nugent song. I got my guitar instead of 10 years old. I got when I was 7. What really got me onto it was my brother turned me on to the Rolling Stones. I see the Rolling Stones in 64 on Ed Sullivan, and they do Satisfaction. I hear that distorted guitar, and I'm like, well, I want to do that. And so I begged my mom for a guitar. She got me a guitar, an acoustic, started playing that. I think the first song I ever learned was with my thumb on the bass E string, Sitting on the Dock of Bay by Otis Redding. And then from there, things progressed. went and saw. I was lucky enough to see. My mom took me to see the Godfather of Soul, James Brown,
Wow.
in like
Nice.
1967 at the Cincinnati Gardens, right? So I kind of
Oh,
got
wow.
injected
Wow.
with that
Wow.
kind of thing.
Jump back and kiss yourself.
Oh yeah,
We didn't even know that.
yeah. And then my mom took me to see Grand Funk at the Cincinnati Zoo in '70, and Pink Floyd, and so things progressed there. And then for me, it was a progression. Chuck Berry was the first influence, and then Keith Richards, obviously, and then of course James Marshall Hendricks. Yeah, and then Billy Gibbons. I'm going to forget a few. And then, of course, Edward Van Halen. So it was the type of thing for me that my mom used to sing to me when I was a little boy. So music has always been a part of my life. And, that's how things got started. Love the guitar. And that's kind of like how things started for me. So, and then the gang inside my head said, well, that's a really cool thing to do. And so we keep doing that. And, so that's pretty much how things got with me. Yeah.
All right. Well, we've got a question from Kara out there who asks, what's your favorite song to perform?
Well, that is a tough one.
Yeah.
Yeah, you guys have a lot of good ones. I want to hear this.
Yeah.
Girls for me. I just love Motley. That's my
Heading out to the highway for
that's
me.
my sweet spot.
Okay.
Or Home Sweet Home.
What do you think, D?
I don't really have a favorite, really, but Good Times, Bad Times. I really like Paul
Yeah.
Rogers. He's one of my biggest influences.
I would
Okay.
say probably for me, it's probably the stuff that we do. It would be kind of a toss up between heading out the highway. But if I had to pick one, it's going to be, and no great surprise, it's going to be Ain't Talking About Love by Van Halen.
All right.
Yep.
Glenn just said he looked at your website and you didn't have any shows upcoming. I think you've got shows upcoming, don't you?
Well, it may not be on the website though, because we won't talk about the guy that is supposed to be taking care of the website. But I'll maybe go ahead and take a drink on that.
We won't name no names.
Uh-oh.
I have to throw in there too that Glenn is he's on YouTube and he's a Book of Face hater, so he won't go to your Book of Face page and look at it. So he's one of those guys that it has to be on a website for him or bands in town or something.
Well, I'll
like
tell you what, Glenn, just because of that, then I'll make sure I spend, like 2 minutes and update stuff. So. Like, gee, Nick, that doesn't sound good from regards of why it isn't done, but yeah.
Tina's giving Dwayne a shout out, saying he's got good pipes, and then Hollywood, there it is.
So there's Hollywood talking about Fury from the 80s. Fury had 2 albums out. Thank you, Joe. Very cool. Like I said, you stick around for double nickels, you might get a black album. Just saying. So,
Wow, there you go.
Kind of an
Nice.
inside thing with me and Joe. So good.
Well, I think TJ's offering to do a show with you with his band, and so there you go. We can do a double bill some night. That'd be a good time. And Joshua's Cricket's son, spring break, he says, with our Amish friends, but had to tune in. Thank you for that. We appreciate you being here.
Cool.
And Glenn says thanks. So let's move on to something else. Let's talk about musical influences a little bit with you guys and with this set list, because you're all over the place in the rock genre. You're doing everything from heavy to almost I hate to say pop rock, but rock that was, like in the 80s that MTV glamorized a lot. So, what do you
like the Poison guys?
Yeah, big hair,
Yeah.
spandex, big hair, and all that good stuff. And Nick, don't get any ideas, okay, on the spandex.
How'd you know they're sitting up on my
You
shelf?
forgot
for
to put
God's
your
sake?
eyeshadow on.
Oh my God. I cannot unsee that. I can't unsee it. No. So,
Oh man.
what are your musical influences, fellas? I mean, you all probably have one in your own right of the instrument you even play. So, who is it?
Man, that's all over the place.
Yeah, lay it on me.
It's easy for me. It's Geddy Lee.
Yeah.
Okay.
Rush guy. Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
Mine's Robert Plant, Paul Rogers, Scott Whalen.
Yeah.
John Bonham for me, Tommy Lee, Motley,
Bonzo, baby,
Alex
yeah.
Van Halen. Those are my top 3. Just
You guys are
power
getting a
numbers.
ton of shout outs here, by the way.
Yeah.
You're getting some good
Cool.
shout outs. Steve
What's
Howe.
up, Steve? Yeah.
Thank you.
We don't do any Triumph, but I like.
Oh yeah, another
Yeah.
good band.
You guys don't do Triumph?
No, we should. though.
We should.
We should. Yeah.
Yeah.
Magic Power. I mean, they've got
Yeah.
Rick Emmett, Killer
Rick
Pipes.
Emmett, he's
Killer
one of my
Pipes.
favorite
Yeah,
songs.
agreed. For myself, in regards to musical influence, kind of touched on, but I would say that for me, the three mains, I'm sorry, Chuck Berry, Jimi Hendrix, and then Eddie Van Halen. I mean, those three for me are the top influences for me. I'll put Billy Gibbons just a little bit below that. But yeah, those are for myself personally on guitar. Music wise, in regards to the stuff that we do, there's a lot of really, really good stuff. And we're lucky in the regards that there's a big palette of songs that go back to the 80s, that some of them are the 80s. We also do some stuff from the 90s. We do some stuff, as a matter of fact, just a heads up for the folks that like the Toadies. Thank you, Cindy, that we are going to be doing Possum Kingdom. So you're going to hear that this Saturday. So kind of a wide spectrum, but man, that's good stuff. And then you throw in Stone Temple Pilots, Alice in Chains. I mean, come on, that's really good stuff across the board.
Right.
So how often do you add new songs to your set list?
Whenever I can get these guys to actually, do their homework.
Whenever they call me and say, you know this song.
Right. Dwayne's like, well, yeah, I've done that, and I know that. It's like,
Yeah, we don't practice much. We never have practice.
We practice this pretty well, but
we don't spend near as much time in the practice room as we probably should.
Well, like I said, I've seen you at Pullman. I saw your full show there. Can't wait to catch another full show. But I also caught you guys come in and blow the roof off the Bell and the Bear the other night.
Blast.
That's good stuff. And that's a who's who showcase of musicians locally. And you got a lot of props out of a lot of people that night that were it doesn't hurt when you're around all your fellow musicians and they're out there talking about you too, because people want to go see you. So I've got the website up here on the screen so people can see that. We'll get their Facebook information up to you in just a minute too, folks. Cool. But I want to move into the fact that you guys also, besides having a killer set list, which we'll talk about some of those songs that you play here in a minute. Well, I want you to throw out some more for people to hear, but I want to talk about your original stuff because that's really important. And my dogs are joining me in the studio today in case anybody sees that movie.
Well, that means that everybody's comfortable. Everybody's having fun. They want to hang out with Dad. I get it.
It's how do they open the door is the question. That's the real question. Yeah.
God, that might be something you might want to look into. But just,
yeah. So tell me, guys, tell me that. I mean, tell me this new music, and you guys are doing your originals. You're getting ready to put an album out, or I don't know, what are you going to call it? An EP, an album? What do you call it today?
I know in today's world, it's going to be a streaming unit, CD. Yeah. So who knows? But anyway. Going to be 4 new and a couple maybe redos from the Fury days in regards of where they're coming from. Some of the stuff you'll hear people talk about, and I'll use Van Halen as an example, not any way comparing us to Van Halen, not even saying that. But there's been a lot of material that, from an original standpoint, it's been floating around in my head for a long time. And some of them basically are come together with H&R Rock. And so the new stuff is really exciting. It's going to be just what you would expect from us with the type of stuff that we do. I'm not going to go into like a lot of detail about it, but if you're into classic rock, you're into arena rock, you're going to dig it. You're absolutely going to dig it.
Cool. And each song doesn't sound the same.
Yeah.
Right.
Yep.
It's all over the place.
A lot of good energy there, some classic hooks and things like that.
A lot of influence between ourselves too.
Where is my applause button for that? That all the songs don't sound the same. There it is. Let's put that in there. Yes.
Imagine that days where I can also tell you too that there isn't going to be any auto tune. Dwayne's actually singing this stuff.
Yeah.
So there's not going to be any.
Yeah.
What? No auto tune? Say it isn't so. Oh, that I love it. I mean, I would rather, honest to goodness, hear a person that half off singing and can't sing as well without hearing auto tune, man. That's just me personally, but that whole deal. Don't get me started on that soapbox. But let's
they say I do my best work in the studio, so let's see what happens.
Your
let me just-
specific themes here then is going to be, basically, like you said, arena rock, the heavy, the
rock.
power songs, basically.
Yeah,
Classic
Yeah.
edge is what I call it. Classic edge.
Yeah,
Yeah.
there are a couple
Cool.
that are somewhat on the hard side, but there's a couple that are going to be almost like sing-alongish at some parts in it.
Anthems, yeah.
And just to let everybody know out there, the CD streaming EP, whatever you want to call it, is going to be called Weapons of Rock. So be looking
Okay.
for that out there, because we sometimes consider ourselves like the weapons of rock. So,
There is
that's
Tina
like the name
asking,
of the song, right? So-
Tina
Dawkins,
asking for
please.
Dawkins. Yes.
Now, Tina, I wonder what song that might be. So,
Oh.
Alone Again is
Yeah.
really good. Dwayne kills that, but I almost want you to put up in the chat here for a second, Tina, what the name of that song is by Dawkins. So these guys will give them the stick. Dwayne, okay. Oh,
I know it. I got it.
ka-ching, brother. Woo.
Well, I got to say, I think
Yeah.
Tina, if Don Dawkins' bus pulled up in front of her house, you'd see taillights and exhaust and her on it. She'd be out of town.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I certainly
she loves her Dawkins. She does.
Yeah.
And Hollywood giving you a big shout out here. Love him as well. What a great supporter of music he is. And we appreciate him being here. And
Kudos to Joe. Yeah.
You know,
Thank you, Hollywood.
Joe
And
does- he does a
anytime he
fantastic
has you
job.
play down there, we want to get down there. And I encourage you. That's a great venue to see these
Great
guys
venue.
in too. It's
Yes.
it
Hollywood
holds a
does
lot of people.
fantastic job down there. Yep.
Does a great job.
Takes care of us too.
Yeah.
Yep. Joe's great.
We even have like a little dressing room,
Yeah.
right?
Scary.
I've never used it yet.
Well, I was going to say it's a good thing.
I'm always right on time.
Oh, really?
Oh, he's
wow.
He's one of those guys.
Right
All
on
right.
time to start, not
Yeah.
early.
Yeah.
That's all I'm saying.
I promise he doesn't have like Toby lead singer disease.
Yeah. He calls it David Lee Roth disease.
I'm not
I-
going to sing 3 songs and quit.
Wow. Whoa. Boy, if Dave sees this, he's going to be like, "Oh, really, Dave?" It's like-
Well, I give Del McFarland from DV8 a bunch of hell all the time because he rolls up to a gig on his motorcycle. I said, "What's that little pouch on the front? Got your mic in it, and that's all you carry?"
Right.
You know?
Like on a
I
travel
know
kit.
Del. I know Del.
Yeah, because he has so much
Yeah.
to carry in.
Yeah, he's so much load in for him. Sweet Sister Mercy, Sweet Sister Mercy, giving you guys a big shout out, and they're an awesome rock band. Saying you guys are killer. Mark Robinson's got some killer pipes as well.
We got history. Me
It's
and
not
Mark
love.
Robinson have history.
In my dreams,
You gotta
Tina
say
once.
that.
Yes, and
What's up?
Gary
Yeah.
saying hey, seeing the guys from
All right.
H&R Rock. So, all right, guys, let's do a few more questions here before we roll out of this thing today. I want to know first of all how it feels when you guys seem like when you get on stage, there's this all of a sudden the switch goes and you connect with your audience really well. And what's that feeling for you guys to get up in front of a crowd? Many of you have been doing it a while. A long time. But does it still bring you as much pleasure as it did the first time you ever played?
Absolutely.
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely. That's the best feeling ever.
That's the highest of highs,
Yeah.
really. It's
If it wasn't for the audience,
Right.
it wouldn't be. We'd be just like practicing.
right.
Yeah. It's one of the things I always say, even to this day, and I've been doing live shows since I've been about 16. Even to this day, I'll still get a little twinge in my stomach,
Yeah,
like
me too.
like 3 hours before the show, and getting up on stage and being able to put smiles on faces
Right.
and be lucky enough to be able to do what we do, and myself personally to be able to do that. And to be able to communicate and be able to have folks enjoy themselves, have a good time, and speak to them musically, man, it's a fantastic feeling. And then when you're up on stage and everything is going right, and you look out and you see all the smiles, and everybody's up rocking, and they're having a damn good time, man, it makes all of the prep, it makes all the hours of practice, it makes all the hours of being, like I always say, we're decent musicians, we're fantastic roadies.
Yeah.
So it
That I
makes,
like.
Well, it's true. So Scott, just saying, if you're ever there, you want to grab like an amp or something, don't be afraid. But
I've been known to do that at times. I have. But. All right. So here, tell these people, just throw out some songs that are in your set list. So people that don't know you know what they could come and hear. I think that's really important because that's one of the things that just really turned me on to your group was the fact that you're all over the place with the music in the rock genre. So mention some of those, if you will.
Whole Lot of Love, Zeppelin.
Yeah.
Crazy Train.
Yeah.
Head Out to the Highway, Judas
Head Out to
Priest.
the Highway. Rob's thinking, I'm in the band. I should know this. I'm the guy playing the drums.
Home Sweet Home, Girls.
Good Times, Bad Times. Ain't Talking About Love.
Bad Girlfriend.
Yeah.
We have Plush, STP, and
Slither.
also Velvet Revolver.
Velvet Revolver.
Scott Weiland is one of my favorites. So
Nothing But a Good Time from the Poison guys.
yeah.
Those spandex guys.
Yeah. Ooh, I can't leave out Round and Round Rat.
Oh yeah,
right.
One of my favorites.
Warren D. Martini,
Yes.
badass guitar player.
Slide It In, White
Of course,
Snake.
all my favorites. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's on the stuff. White Snake. Who else?
Highway Star.
Yeah, Little Deep
Oh, Deep Purple. Yeah, there we go.
We've been known to throw LaGrange out there. We do some Stevie Ray. We do Pride and Joy. Yeah.
Black Sabbath. We do. I mean,
War Pigs.
War Pigs,
I do want to make it known that Rod came through there. He has come through with like 10 songs. So, when you were giving him hell for not knowing the first one, he actually knows. Rob, you're good.
Yeah, has his moments, yeah.
Cool.
And Rod, I said Rod, I meant Rob, but Rod commented there too as I was looking at he wants to be a groupie.
Yeah, absolutely.
I thought he already was.
I was going to say you already were. It also depends on how many beers and drinks you can buy.
Right.
Yes.
We're together a lot. They always get Rod and Rob confused, so we're used to it.
Well, let's explain to Rod though. There is a huge difference between a roadie and a groupie. He needs to know that. Right?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Definitely know that. Yeah.
Roadie it is.
Yeah, right. Purely Rod, your name doesn't so we won't go there. But
yeah, we may make him seamstress for the band or something. I don't know. There we go.
Ooh,
all right, fellas. I've got a huge question at the end here. I want to know from each one of you. I'm going to start with you, Nick Rotundo, and I want you to tell me if there was one person you could take the stage with besides your fellow bandmates, past or present, band, solo artist, whatever, who would it be?
Easy answer, Jimi Hendrix.
There you go. Dwayne.
I'm thinking Scott Weiland.
There we go. Jamie.
I'm with Nick, man. Jimi Hendrix.
Well,
nice.
Let's see if we can bring him back from the dead. That'd be good.
I'll make a phone call, get a hold of Guido and Vito, say, hey, bring Jimmy back. Yo, yeah.
All right, Rob.
Yeah, I'd say John Bonham.
Yeah.
That would just be phenomenal. It's a three-way tie for me with three drummers, but man,
it'd be an interesting band.
Bonzo would be that, man. What an honor,
Really, any of them.
Yeah, there's so much talent.
Now I'm curious, three-way tie. Let's hear all three of them.
Well, for different reasons. I mean, I saw Motley in '87, and that changed me. Seeing Tommy do his upside down drum, flying drums across the stadium, and at that time it was the spinning upside down craziness, and that changed me. So he's one just from a sheer power drumming showman, and then obviously, like I said, John Bonham and Alex Van Halen. What another fantastic drummer!
Killer drummer. Yep.
Alex, first time I heard "Hot for Teacher," I lost my mind. How's he doing that?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was good stuff.
Yeah.
Right.
So, upcoming gigs. What do we got coming up?
Let's see. This Saturday we are at Jocko's Pub.
Yep.
Down in the Delhi area.
Yep.
And then on April the 8th, we are at the Bell and the Bear.
Bell and Bear.
It'll be our debut.
Yeah.
Awesome.
So
outstanding.
come on out there. Also, shout out to Karis there.
Yeah.
And then on the 16th, we're going to be at Peacocks in Erlanger.
Yep.
So that's
There
pretty
we go.
much April. And then if you folks would go to our Facebook page and go to our soon to be updated website And all the gigs are going to be listed there. So we got a bunch coming up. We got some gigs coming up at Naughty Pine. As we go along, we got some gigs coming up at Pullman's.
Yep.
So yeah, but those are the ones coming up for April. So we're looking forward to seeing everybody come on out and rock out with us. And you know what? Come out and shake your moneymaker, and we will rock it.
Well, Jocko's Pub this weekend, right?
Yeah,
And,
Saturday.
Saturday.
Yep.
Bell and the Bear on the 8th. And I've got to give a big shout out to my friends at the Bell and the Bear. And you know I'm tight with them, but I will say 11 of 13 nominations they made third, second, or first place in the Best of Cincinnati in all their nominations. So 11 out of 13, including Best Jam Night.
I agree.
First place. So
that's killer.
That's pretty damn cool. I mean, that's awesome.
Great place. Great place.
Very cool. Karis, keep on rolling.
Ton of talent out there.
And
Had a
thanks
lot of
to
fun.
Jamie and all the gang there that comes up and hangs out. They even play a Kiss song or two for yours truly to sing on.
Yeah.
It depends on how much you pay us, Gary, but we won't talk about
that. We never get to see too many of our musician buddies because, you know, we're always playing or they're always playing or, you know, we can't never connect.
A lot of fun and honor to get up and play. Yeah.
You mentioned Jamie Combs too. Shout out to him. Got the first place as the best solo musician in Cincinnati. So that's pretty cool. And that's all viewer votes. I mean, that's all people voting that are voting for people, and it's all the customers, not the newspaper or the venues or anything that are voting for them. So cool stuff going on out there. And H&R Rock people, you got to follow them on their social. And Nick will update that website. He promises someday.
All
right.
Yeah.
And tune in soon because you never know when I'm going to show up at one of their shows in a mesh shirt as well, and that's going to be a good time.
I'm definitely going to wear my shades. I'm just saying because you're going to be too sexy for your shirt, bro.
Make sure you
ahead, Scott. I'm ready.
Make sure you sport some chucks with that.
Throwing in the right said Fred reference there, Mr. Rotundo. I don't know.
What color.
I've seen your act. I've seen your act in that shirt before, and I don't know if I can unsee that either. So,
I've heard
guys,
all about it.
we're running out of time, but I can't thank you enough. You've been super to have on the show today, and I hope some people got a chance to be introduced to this great band out of the Cincinnati area, and they're playing all over. We're trying to get you up north here a little bit, get you a little further north too to play some venues up here. And so follow them on social, guys, H&R Rock on YouTube and Facebook, and also at their website at www.hnrrock.rocks. Okay. H&R Rocks. And you'll want to do that. Nick, Dwayne. Yes. It's been
a lot of fun.
It's been really cool, guys. And Jamie and Rob, thank you so much as well.
Thanks for
being here today. And anything else you want to leave with or tell anybody before you go? Anything we missed?
Myself and for the band, just thanks a lot. Thanks for having us on, Scott. Thanks for doing what you do.
Right.
And
Thanks for all the support.
Thanks to our fans and thanks to all the venues out there and thanks to everybody that supports local music.
Yeah, come
Fantastic.
See us.
Come see us. Come out and rock with us.
And a plan, we want to put some Tesla in our set. Jeff Keith, he's awesome.
There you go.
Yeah.
Well, certainly everybody share this show if you can. You guys share it on your pages. We'll share it. And let's get the word out about H&R Rock, one of the greatest bands I've seen play around here. And it's a killer show, guys. Make sure you get out and check them out. So on behalf of All Around Town Radio, and thank you guys very much.
Thanks, folks.
You guys rock.
Yeah.
Appreciate
thanks,
you.
Yeah.
All right, we're out of here. Thanks so much, guys. Stay on a minute with me. I'll catch you right after. Okay. All right, you've been watching Wednesday with the Band, All Around Town Radio. We'll be back with you tomorrow. We'll be back live tomorrow with Live at 5, bringing you the best musicians in the tri-state and where they're playing so you can plan your musical weekend with Who's Playing Out, brought to you by Froggies in Monroe, Ohio.
Nice.
So until then, guys, thank you so much for being with us here at All Around Town Radio. We are out of here. Have a great day. Bye-bye.